Hello Flosstube, my name is Mariam. My pronouns are she, her. You may know me as Marroomycrafts on Instagram and Marroomy Designs on Gumroad. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is my fourth Flosstube. It's a video that I share my progress on cross stitch, anything cross stitch related, and also a little bit of diamond painting. Today we do have some finishes, diamond painting finishes that I'm going to be sharing with you. One is right there. Also, if you notice, today we have a guest right there. That's Asal, my 1-year-old kitty, who's, I don't know what's he saying in that mirror. He's been like staring at himself for the past half an hour. So yeah. So that's him. It's his debut. So let's get it started. Today I have a lot to share with you. I have fully finishes, I have finishes, I have some other stitchy crafty activities that I have engaged in since the last time I talked to you in Flosstube. I have plans to share, future designing plans to share, and as I mentioned, I have diamond painting to share with you as well. So let's get it started. So first we're gonna start with fully finished items. I actually have 4, but I don't have 2 of them because I already taken the 2 to office. So I'm gonna share with you the 2 that I have, and then I'm gonna insert a photo of the other 2 that is already, you know, in my cubicle at my job. So here's the first one. It's Persian Love. This is my very first design. I finally got to fully finish it and frame it. So this will go on my wall. Some, you know, it's, you know, putting frames on wall. This is another step. So I think we do need to acronym for that as well. So we have FFO. We need something like beyond that when you actually display your FFOs. So yeah, this is in that stage now, and that one too. So I have I struggle when I like frame stuff or fully finish them to actually display them. So we'll see when this will actually go on the wall. So yeah, this is Persian Love, or right now because of like some issues with PayPal and just to make sure that people are able to download and pay for the pattern without any issues, I renamed this pattern Ish, which is Persian for Love anyway. So yeah, so if you go on my Gumroad, this is now listed as Ish, but it's the same pattern. I just changed it, updated the name. So yeah. Yeah, so I don't remember the fabric, like the Ada that I stitched on, but I remember that it's 16 count. And I use Anchor White on a spool, which is was a huge mistake. It gave me such a hard time. It's horrible, like Anchor on a spool. It's so bad. So yeah, I stitched it using that. Next is casserole for people, right? It says be persnickety, play with your food, appreciate wildlife, nap every day, don't bite when a hiss will do, practice patience, listen before speaking, when you make a mess, bury it, sit very close to those who you love. So yeah, the original pattern had a white cat here, but of course I changed that to black cat. Yeah. So yeah, I just framed it. It's my framing is, I mean, I don't really pay, like, I'm not really good at like framing, slicing, all that. So I just, you know, basically I just stick it on the board and frame it. Yep. Okay, and here I will insert the other 2 finishes that I have. Now into my finishes. So first finish is actually with the rest of the collection, which, let me show you this. So I finished Fussy Rooster. This is the last installment in Magical Carpet Menagerie. So I finished all 9 now. I have all 9 released and on my Gumroad. As I mentioned before in my previous floss tubes, all my patterns this size, like a smaller, to me, a smaller patterns are available for download for free for first 6 months after they're released. After that, they will have like a minimum that you have to pay to get the pattern. You can of course do like pay as you wish, so you can pay during those 6 months that these are free for download. If you like, you can actually pay for them. So there's an option on Gumroad to do that. And after that 6 months, there is a minimum that you have to pay. Of course, if you want to pay more than that, you're welcome to, but there will be a cost. So the first of this series now had hit that mark. So my peacock, my funky peacock, and if you see, if I actually started attaching these and finishing them. So the plan is to have these in rows, like 3 rows, and then attach all 3, so I will have like a whole block. So this one, the first one, is now has a minimum. The rest are still free for download. Yeah, so yeah, that's that. And by the way, how I'm actually finishing these. So on 18 count, if you use one of these 6-inch squares that are used for quilting, you basically can actually, that's what I did, I put it on that, centered it, and I have a line there. So this line is my guide to basically, this is the point that I will attach this square to the next one. And I used a washable marker, so these can be washed away with water. So after I'm done attaching them together, if any of it like shows, then I'm gonna like use some water and remove that. So yeah, next finish. This was a plan last time when I had like in my last floss tube. This was a plan, so now I have a finish. So yeah, this is Sailor's Delight by D of D20 Stitches and Kari Uncanny Kari. So the original painting actually was done by Kari, and then D changed it to like basically a cross stitch pattern, and it's a trans merman. You can see the top surgery scars there, and I changed the colors. The call for was more of like a navy red situation, but I changed it to this softer pink and blue and turquoise. And I used 18 count Picture This Plus Ada in Jazz, which is like this blue and purple. Yeah, I love it. This is like, it has tons of fractional. Like, just be aware, if you're planning on stitching it on Ada, you have to be able to pierce your Ada. This was a little bit of a hassle, but then I got into a rhythm, and actually I was able to finish this pretty quickly. Yeah, so it's doable on Ada, but you have to be able to like pierce your Ada. So if you have like really stiff Ada or like problematic Ada, or you don't have sharp needles, it will be difficult to do. But yeah, that's that. And the biggest finish is this. I finished my King Kapal. Again, a plan that I shared last Flosstube was for me to finish this, and I did. This was a stitch along that is started like by Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery. It was like, it's not a big pattern, but she divided it into 12 sections, and we were supposed to stitch one section a month. But right now I have so many sales, and I'm planning on starting more, that I decided that maybe it was time that I just finish this. So I did. So I finished it. It's on 18 count fiddler's cloth, and I used my own Saki conversion. So my colors are actually more, I would say more vibrant than the colors that are called for. So I used more vibrant red. The blues are more vibrant. I love this like combination, like navy and red, like this darker red, more like much more. So yeah, this one is another one that had a lot of fractionals, but because this is like fiddler's cloth, and it was super easy to pierce with needle, and I didn't even use a sharp needle. I used a regular tapestry needle, and it was like sharp enough, and it pierced it like easily. So I was able to do this. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I don't know what I want to do with this, like in terms of FFO. I don't know, maybe a pillow. I've never made a pillow, mainly because I don't have any place to like display them. My apartment is pretty small, and I don't have a lot, and I have like a really curious kitty, so it's not really doable for me, and it's not practical to finish anything in pillows. And I will have like a bunch of small pillows that I don't know what to do with. So probably gonna be added to the pile of my finishes until I figure out what to do with it. All right, now I'm gonna share my diamond painting finishes. So one is actually FFO, to be honest, like it's framed, it's right there. Name is Cherry Blossom, so it's 50 by 100 centimeters. The artist who painted this painting was Lizzie Falcon, and I bought this from Treasure Art Studios, which is like a company, an Australian company. It took me a long time to finish because it's big. The angle doesn't actually show, it's actually really long, and I love those colors, but because I've been like diamond painting for, I think it took me like around a month or a little longer than that, so I was like using the same colors for a long time. It was getting boring. So I'm so glad to be done with it, and I like enjoyed it. I enjoy it like framed and all done. It's supposed to go up there probably, or maybe replace that. We'll see. I haven't like decided where to hang it. That's why, as you know, you see it's just framed, and it's in a closet, so I just took it out so I can show you. All right, here's my newest finish. This is Red Watering Can by Lisa Judd. I love these happy colors. Just look at that. Yeah. And it has a lot of AB drills. If you see here, these ones, some of the blue ones. See, it has like this, like a peacocky effect. So it has like a so many like greens and purples and blues and silvers. So this is like a coating on those drills, so the effect makes it when there is light shining on it, it will reflect all these colors, not only on those drills but also on the drills around it. So it's pretty cute. Yeah. So now let's talk about whips. I didn't like work on a lot of like whips because I finished a lot during the past month. So yeah. All right. Okay. So my whips. This is Black Vintage Sampler by Owl Forest Embroidery. So I am on page 4 right there. There are like 2 half pages at the bottom, and then it will be done. My hope is to finish this by the end of the year, so I'm hoping that I get to do that. I really don't like to carry my whips to the next year, so, but also I'm new, so it's not like I had carried a lot of whips with me. All right, so that's that. Next one is a start. Actually, let me see if I can find the cover photo. Never mind, I'm going to insert the cover photo here. So it's like a potty. I just started. I finished the first page. I'm on page 2. I am right now working on her hair. I'm stitching on 18 count Ada. This is Mystic Fabric in Night Sky Yennefer. No, Night Sky Yennefer. And it's opal. And I'm actually not beading, so I'm replacing all the beads with petite treasure braid. So there's a lot of like metallic going on. So all of, I don't know if you can see. Let me get it closer to you. All right. Okay, you see all these sparkles? These were all supposed to be like beads, but I used metallics instead. So that's the plan, because I don't like beading. I just replaced it with metallics, and I'm using thread conditioner to make it like easier for me to stitch with all these metallics on, especially because my fabric is opal as well. So it's a sparkle on top of a sparkle on top of a sparkle. I know. Some might find this gaudy, but I love it. The more a sparkle, the better it is. So yeah. And this is the first time I'm stitching with silk. So all the border, and there's a lot of silk in this, and I'm loving it. I was so surprised how soft and easy it is to stitch with, especially on opal fabric. Like, yeah, I was not expecting it. I was like sort of like dreading it, but it turned out okay. And I'm actually using my most recent bag from Crab Shack Stitchery. Yeah, I know I have a problem. But look at it. And this is sparkly too. Come on. I mean, yes. This is gorgeous. Yeah. And he has the matching, you know the drill by now. I've been sharing one at least of these each floss tube. So this is the Notion pouch. Yes, yes, yes. All right, these are all my whips. That's it. So I dyed some fabric. So I don't do dyeing that much because I want to leave it to experts. Let's be honest. There's so many talented dyers out there that I like to take advantage of their genius stance and just buy their products. And I don't want to dye my own fabric. But in a pinch, and while I was waiting for Jessie to release their new batch, and I promised myself not to buy more fabric. Oopsie, I already broke that promise. You will see in the haul section. So I dyed some fabric in blue because it's basically tied into one of the patterns that I will share and I bought recently. So I'm gonna, when we get there, it makes sense. It will make sense. One was medium blue and they were hand dyed. I don't know if they were hand dyed. I don't know. But it had this, it was medium blue and it had this ugly splotch of pip-to pink in the middle. And it looked as if someone actually painted with paintbrush, not hand dyed with dyes that are like dyes. It looked really bad and it was super stiff. So as from my past experiences, last round when I hand dyed some fabrics, I realized, and that was on Aida that I bought from Amazon, I realized that those stiff Aidas get really softer when they go through the process of hand dyeing. I don't know if it's the chemical in the stabilizer or the chemical in the dye itself, or a combination of being washed in so many times in hot water and all of that. I don't know, but it made them softer and more pliable. So I decided to over dye this piece. And then I had another, with that was another piece that was again hand dyed, that was gray and light blue, and it was really ugly. And a piece of white Aida, all 18 counts. So I put them all in the same bath, it's same. I do this red dye the jar method. You just dump it in a jar and just leave it. So I did that, and they all took the same bath, but the result is each one is now they look really different. So this is the first one. This was white. So you see part of it is darker than the other, but I like the effect. This is the other side. Right? And it's now more pliable. So I like that. This is that god awful pip-to pink fabric. It's now super cute. Look at it. You still can see some of the pink coming through, but it's not pip-to pink, right? Yeah, so I'm super happy with this one, especially. And I actually think that I'm gonna go with this for the project that I'll share later. And then the blue-gray one now looks like this. See? Yep. All right. That's that. Okay, So we have hauls and we have plans. So I'm gonna first share my plans because like there are a couple of things that I want to make sure that I touch on before we get to the haul portion. I want to leave haul for the tail end, so if someone is not interested in watching that part, they can skip it. Let's talk plans. So we're stitching for a cause in the month of September and October. It's a marathon for MMI G2S. So it's to support any effort in rectifying the epidemic that is in North America in general, so US and Canada as well, of murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit. So the number is really high. I will actually leave all the links to the information. You can get all the information below. We're supporting a coalition. Let me write the name. So there is a coalition to stop violence against Native women. Their job is more like a macro level. So what they do is they work with politicians to change policies and make more meaningful change, and like on a higher level, to get not only more resources and attention to these cases, but also figure out why it's happening and how we can prevent it, basically. If you like to donate, I will leave my link below. So it's what's happening here is every participant pledges to certain number of hours or projects that they're going to work on for the month of September and October, and then at the same time we are raising fund, basically. So I leave my 99 pledges page down, so you can actually go and donate, or you can add your pledge as well. So myself, I'm pledging 100 hours of stitching. Last year I did 100 hours on the new normal by Long Dog sampler. That was tough, but it was tough and it was not. It was tough because I only worked on one project for almost 2 months. I hit my mark like a week before the end of October. So for almost 2 months, I was just stitching on one project. At the time, I was mainly stitching monogamously, so it wasn't like a huge difference. It didn't make a huge difference. However, still, it was like, it was a lot. So this year I'm pledging 100 hours of stitching in general. So far I have 5 hours and 58 minutes. Right now I'm working on Lekapati on as my main focus. However, I'm only planning on stitching on her for 15 days, and the rest of the month I'm going to be working on one model stitch, and then also to I'm gonna try to hit my whip go goals. So whip go goals this month, number 3 and 22. So number 3 is keeping up, like basically getting up to date with the peppermint purple sal, which is like black stitch, and that's something that I have been behind, so I have like a few months to catch up, but that's really quick. So I think like a couple days of stitching and I will be all caught up with that. And then also the other number was 22, which is working on the project closest to finish for 2 extra days. 2 extra days because usually my goals for whip goes are 6 days on a project, so plus 2, that's 8 days. So I need at least 10 days to be able to work on those 2 projects, plus additional like 5 days for that model stitching that is coming up. So yeah, these are all the plans that I have. Now that you know, like I shared that my first collection, the Magical Carpet Menagerie, has come to an end. I actually finished it and it's done. I released the border as well. let me share the border. I have a, okay, sorry, it's all crooked. So I didn't mock stitch this one because I'm actually gonna finish my project using the stitches. So what you have here is 2 band borders plus 2 corners. So you can mix and match each one. The idea is these are bands that you can actually repeat easily. This one is easier than that one, but what I suggest is don't worry about where you're cutting when you get to that end and you hit that mark, the size that you need. So the idea is you stitch all your creatures in the middle in whatever configuration you like, and then you use the border to frame the whole thing together. So if you feel really ambitious, you can technically put these 2 together and have a thick band, and then use these, or combination of these, to make like a 4 squares, like a larger piece for the corner. That will be really ambitious. I personally will stitch one of these 2 bands plus one of the corners. So you're gonna have 4 bands for top, bottom, and sides, and then one of the corners you use for each of the corners. Now, if you want to do 2 of the, you know, maybe top and bottom with this one, these 2 for the side, or the vice versa, or you want to mix and match these corners, you're welcome to do whatever you like. I always say, after you get the pattern, then it's yours. You can do whatever you like with that pattern afterward. So take that freedom and run with it. If you want to make some changes, go ahead. I'm just giving you the idea and the base, and then what you do with that basically is up to you. All right, so that's on all the plans. Oh no, one more actually. So we're gonna have a stitch and chat. So this is another fundraiser. It's happening on October 1st. So I'm hoping that you're aware of what's going on in the world. The flooding in Pakistan is really horrendous. A lot of people have lost their lives and their livelihood. Huge areas were completely wiped out. So we are doing a stitch and chat, which is like a Zoom for 1 hour on October 1st, which is a Saturday, 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern. If you want to join, you need to donate to Care Pakistan. I will leave the link below. You can go ahead, make your donation. Then you can either DM me or DM Nitya, because this is a 2 team. The idea came from Nitya, and I'm really thankful that she included me. I decided to just run with it. So I'm making the announcements. But I want to make sure that I'm not taking all the credit. So Nitya came with the idea, and it's a great idea. So yes, so either we need a confirmation that you actually made that donation for you to get the invitation. Make sure that you either DM me or DM Nitya, or you can email me at marroomycrafts@gmail.com. So I leave my email below as well. So email me the confirmation, and then also if you're DMing me, make sure that you include your email address as well, so we know how to invite you and where to send that invitation. Also, because every single person who will donate for this cause and send us the receipt or the confirmation may receive something exclusive. So I'm working on something exclusive. You know, I'm a designer, right? Hint, hint. So something exclusive just for those who have participated in this, like donated to this cause, which is like a really really good cause. So Iran is neighbor with Pakistan, so I do feel kinship and closeness to that area, especially because one of their specialty stitches is Baluchi stitches, which is Balochistan is an area in Iran, neighboring Pakistan. So we do have Baluchi stitching as well on our side, and I have been really familiar with that, and is one of the traditional stitches that I'm really interested in learning more about. And I love the colorful patterns that they create. It's not cross stitch, it's its own a special type form of stitching. So you can Google it. There are a lot of like mirrors embedded in those fabrics, and it's so beautiful. A lot of colorful designs, really primitive, really repetitive, and geometric, but it's beautiful. So yeah, hint, it might be something related to that, that you might receive as exclusive. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you do too, and you join us. Please make sure that even if you don't have time to join us in the Zoom call, to donate. And if you like an exclusive, send us the receipt so we can add you to the list of people who will receive that. One more plan. I forgot about this one. So as I shared, or actually came to during the last Flosstube, I'm planning on doing a sale for the month of October to use all those like little patterns, spooky patterns, Halloween fall related patterns that we have through magazines and like people like smalls, or we collect all these smalls. What I, at least on my side, I rarely stitch them, so I want to make sure that I actually do, especially because these like past this most recent like just cross stitch Halloween edition had a lot of those little patterns that I love, and I want to stitch. So I'm coming up with I came up with a sal for that. So a spooky small sal during the month of October. Please join us using the hashtag spooky smalls. Yeah, so it's all fun. There is not a huge, like nothing is on a stake. You can use any small that is like Halloween or fall theme. It doesn't need to be from magazine. So if you're not subscribed to a magazine, that's fine. Just look in your stash. I bet you have a few of those small patterns that have not been stitched. So it's the best time to go ahead and stitch them. So yeah, so for the whole month of October, I'm going to be focusing on those smalls. All right, so that's all of my plans. Finally, like I covered all the plans. Yeah. So I'm gonna share some hauls with you now. So first, I placed an order with Color and Cotton for a few fabrics. So this one is 18 count Spice Honey. It shows really washed out. It's warmer, much warmer than this, but it doesn't show. Yeah, my lighting sucks. Next is Rosewater, 18 count. And these are our fat quarters. Yeah. And lastly is Olive Vines it's a 20 count. I do love this. This kind of brown that is not that like, it's cool tone brown, like olive. It's like, again, has a little bit of green in it. These are perfect to showcase any like bright colors. So just imagine like all the bright blues and all the oranges look fantastic on something like that. And they kindly send me a few of their threads as a gift. So these are, each one is 4 yard. Doesn't have the names. Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah, as someone who stitches with sulky most of the time, when I get like these like other threads, I need to like plan and see how I can use them actually. Okay, and then I placed an order with Abby from TopknotStitcher because I was planning this. Again, this is related to that, like those blue fabrics that I shared. So Nitya was working on this pattern. Have you seen her version? Please do. Go ahead and check her last Flosstube, or I will leave her link below, or check out her Instagram. She is doing a night garden version of this, and whew, it's so good. It's so good. So she inspired me. She actually enabled me to get this pattern, and then also to try and change it up. So I'm not gonna go that like dark. I want to use really bright. I'm actually gonna brighten up all the colors, not the greens but the reds and oranges, and I will stitch them on blue. So all the oranges will pop. Right, yeah. So then again, I think everyone knows, it's a common knowledge that patterns cannot travel alone. So I got this. This was another pattern that Nitya shared with me, and she was like, look at this little black kitty. And I'm like, oh wow, it's so good. Why do you do this to me? Now I have to buy it. Yeah, so I was like, I was enabled by Nitya to buy this. And here goes my black cat. Yeah, it's a snarky cat. And look at that face. And then I placed an order with Cobweb Corner for this. I've been wanting this for a while because of this little guy. My little guy, Asal, stretches himself like this all the time. I'm not going to stitch the alphabet. I'm going to just bring the border up, finish it here. I love this. Yeah, it's Midnight Watch by Blackbird. And from Gendarme Privé, I got Mademoiselle Rose. Again, patterns cannot travel alone. So I had to. And this is so cute. This is so cute. So yeah. And Cobweb Corner is really close to me. I didn't know that. The package got to me super fast. Oh, wow, super fast. So I'll definitely do more shopping there. And to finish it off, I actually just similar to last time, I've placed some that was my kitty. I placed some order for some secondhand books. 3 are from ThriftBooks and 1 is from eBay. So I'm going to share with you the eBay one first. So it's needlework designs from the American Indians. And the author she actually belongs to a native tribe. I don't know which one. She actually has some info at the beginning. have not read it yet, but it's interesting. It sounded really interesting to know. And that's the author, by the way. This is an old book. I would say from 80s. Let me tell you. Oh, even older, 1977. So yeah, this is pretty old. Let's see if I can share some of the patterns with you. So it has the original like artifact, and then she simplified those patterns to make them into something that can be stitched. And these are all like, it shows exactly like which tribe they belong to. So apparently she went on a journey of self-discovery and went through and checked a lot of museums that carry these artifacts, and then took note of it and then turned them into needlepoint like instruction and patterns that can be stitched. Then I got this. Okay. American Indian Counted Cross Stitch. This is again by someone who is from native background. I think she is Cherokee, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing, and one thing only, that I was super excited to see. I mean, of course, there are a lot of like patterns that are fantastic. But the most interesting one of them all is the one on the back. This is a sampler, and that is Cherokee alphabet, right? Have you seen anything like this? Yeah, it's so interesting. It's by Frankie Jones. And let me just tell you how old is this one. 1990. Yeah. It's from 1990. Right? And another Trouble Designs. I would say this person, Gayanne Rogers, she is not, yeah, I don't think she is native. One thing she has done is she has gone through different tribes everywhere from Alaska to Canada, many different tribes. Even she has gone to Central America and have gone to museums, and based on these she has charted some patterns, right? And this last one, so I really was not looking for this, and this is by the same author. So this was her journeying through native like discovery of native artifacts. This is her trip in Asia. So she followed the Silk Road, basically from Far East to, I think it ends at Iran, or Persia as she calls it, which is the old name for Iran. And this was published in 83, and so 2 years before I was born. I'm guessing her travels were even older, like before that. I'm guessing she traveled to those areas in the 70s and then wrote. I'm guessing she traveled in the 70s and then put this together based on those travels. But what was interesting was the whole reason why I bought this was a comment that someone left on the website. It said that, oh, I wish if she included the translation for the Farsi, the Persian that's in these patterns. So I was like, interesting. Let me see. So I bought it, and just to see what they're talking about. Let me show you first. Okay, so this is one of those patterns. So this is like a cushion. It's another cushion. Do you see this? These two lines at the bottom, one line on the top. Looks like it should be something like saying something. It's gibberish. You have no idea how hard I laughed when I got this. I'm like, what is this? This is not even a word. It's not even letters. It's not even like alphabet. It's nothing. It's, who knows what this is? This is another one. I mean, this is hilarious. This is exactly like someone who has no clue what that alphabet is, like, means, like, has no clue in the lettering, and is really bad at copying as well. So I'm guessing like the technology at the time wasn't that good, so she couldn't just like take a good quality photo of the original artifact and then turn it into a pattern or something. So it's hilarious to me. It's hilarious. I know like some people might look at this and feel anger and resentment for the amount of ignorance. Yes, it's so annoying to see the ignorance. And based on that, like, this is another example. Usually these like scenes like that, these are like cut from books, and on the side this is supposed to be the story. So you read the story, and then this is the image related to that story, so that it's like illustration. However, this is nonsense. So she has some like pattern from China and Korea and like this, and there are some things here, but based on what I see in the Farsi version, I'm sure she has done that. I mean, I can't say I'm sure, but I'm guessing that she has done the same thing when she charted the Chinese patterns, or Japanese inspired patterns, or the Korean inspired patterns, or all of that. So I'm guessing she has done the same thing, just imitating what she has seen or taken photo of. I'm guessing the quality of the imaging at the time wasn't that good, so it wasn't possible for her to just take the photo and then come and just copy it exactly and chart it exactly as it was, which would have been like better if she had done that. But yeah, so I laughed so hard. I just, it's hilarious to me. Like there is like ignorance, and then there is ignorance, and then there is this. But it's like so old that I'm like, I don't even know if she's alive. So I'm not gonna stay angry at her for something she has like published in '83, but so hilarious. Yeah. It, like, from the notes, it shows that she actually traveled to those areas. So it's not like from her imagination or news or just cut up like photos from artifacts. Actually, she traveled the whole like path of Silk Road, which was if you're not familiar with Silk Road, is the path that connected Far East to the West, and it passed a lot of like major civilization at the time. So it started from like Far East, like basically connected China to Europe, and you pass through all the countries in the middle in Asia. So you have anything from like, and it's also it's the same road when it comes to spice road. So it was a trade road. They would take silk from Far East and bring it with them to the West. With that came tea was traded that way, spices were traded that way, and reached lands, different lands, and people were familiarized with them through that path, through that road. So it's a really ancient road and really important one that connected so many cultures together. And with all that trading came sharing of art and artifacts and techniques and food and so many different things. So it's a wonderful thing to study and to be curious about and look into, because it's humanity's history. I say humanity because what was traded and passed along and developed through that road and traveling on that road was shared ultimately with the West too. So it wasn't only in the East and in Asia. Yeah. Okay. So that is it. I think this time around, when I edit this, it will be shorter than 1 hour. What? It will be interesting to see if I can actually cut it down to less than an hour. I'm hoping to get back to you sometime by the end of September. Maybe if I get my stuff together and release something else, or maybe I just come and just share my plans for the next collection. Yay. Next collection is in the making, actually. Never mind, I'm gonna share it with you now. I have no patience, so who knows if I'm gonna be able to join you by the end of September. I have tons of different things to do, and yeah, so I'm gonna share it now. So as I said, I wrapped up Magical Carpet Menagerie. What comes next is, like, there were a lot of requests for, I'll make it more magical, make it more weird. So this one is for you, Laura. So yeah, I wanted to make it weird, but a lot of those like weirder elements meant a bigger pattern. And I could not make it bigger because I promised myself to keep everything under 100 by 100 stitches. So that was the limit that I put on myself. I am the one to blame for it. So because of that, I could not I couldn't make it happen. I had to cut a lot of like those weirdness out, and I had to like let go of some of the patterns and ideas that I had in my mind about some mythical creatures that could not fit in that 100 by 100. But now that that collection is done, guess what? The weird and wonderful is coming. So I'm calling it Weird and Wonderful for now. It might change. The name of the collection, new collection, might change. This will not have like a limit in terms of how many installments are in them. And I'm gonna like keep it open and have other things done in the like in between. So I'm not gonna tie myself down to just get only like design only creatures that like fit that bill. But from time to time I will release something that is related to this collection, temporarily named Weird and Wonderful. It might change. I already designed one pattern for that. It needs work. It's weird. It's not like it's not weird enough. It is weird, but I think I will actually make it bigger than what it is now. At the time it was a tail end of like magical carpet, and I was still in that mindset, so I was like freaking out that it's getting more than 120 by 120. But then I was like, well, why would I care? It can be any size. It can be 200 by 200, or it can be 100 by 100, or 50 by 50, who knows. So I'm not going to limit myself in terms of like the size of it, or the frequency. So they're gonna just be released as the inspiration hit. And just to between me and you, there are at least 4 or 5 specific creatures in mind that I am like thinking about, like playing with the idea of how to design them, and how to turn them into like cross stitch patterns. So it's not like it's not there is no lack of inspiration. I have that. It's just a matter of, is this something I want to do now, or is it something I want to do in a month or 2 months? Or because I want to stitch on my own, and also I want to design stuff that are not really bound to beastly things or creatures. I have a couple of patterns that I'm actively working on now. One is a sampler that I have been wrestling with for now few months. It's not coming together. I don't want to force it and then have something that I don't like. So I'm gonna just let it breathe and come to me as it comes. And instead I'm gonna just start like designing other things. I have one more design for sure to come this year, other than the one that I'm gonna be releasing soon, and exclusive. Yeah. So I will have like one more pattern coming up closer to my birthday, which is in January. So by the tail end of year, I will have at least one more pattern that is not related to any collection. I'm planning on tweaking that first installment in the Weird and Wonderful, and have it being released this year. So that's 2 for you. And then if anything else hit, if I end up working out whatever is wrong with that sampler of mine, then I'll release that too. But I'm not really in a hurry for that one. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. To all my new subscribers, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. To all of those who have returned and watching me again, thank you for coming back. Please continue to do so. Spread the word. I would love to hit 1,000 before the end of year. Let's see if we can get there. And it's like, it's insane to think about it, because that was not at all in the books. Like at the beginning of this year, I never thought I'm gonna start like a Flosstube. Nope. But here we are. And next, just a heads up, next Flosstube will have tons of haul, because I placed several orders with MislaidPages, Jessie, and several orders with Abby from TopknotStitcher. And I don't even remember what I ordered. That's not a good sign, is it? Yep. A lot of damages. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Jessie will release her their new batch of fabric before we come back together to record. And I have and so I can place an order with them. Yes, I need more fabric in my life, especially now that I'm thinking about like finishing up a sampler, working on different things. Fabric usually inspire me. So yeah, okay, that's it, truly it. Okay, thank you for sticking around for this yet another long video. Take care of yourself, enjoy your stitch time, be kind, donate whenever you can and as often as you can to all the good causes. There are tons of them out there. I shared 2 with you today, but there are a ton more outside. So use your power, your reach, your money, and your talent when it comes to stitching for good. All right, take care. Bye.